Wow, that just turned into a disaster. There's definitely something going wrong here. It's probably not what you think it is, and I really do hope the motor's going to be all right. All right, we're going to go on to the next project here with the 928. We're going to end up putting all of that stuff into the car and try to make sure the coolant system's all good. So you can see there we got 4 gallons of fluid. G05 yellow stuff is what we got. I've seen some different things. There's, the newer Porsches take pink fluid, but anyway, that's the one we chose and went with. Then we got the old cooling system cleaner flush there, because we don't know who did what to this thing at what point. But anyway, we're going to get all of that stuff into here. See, I already got my drain pan down on the ground. We're going to crawl down there and start working our way through getting this all ready to go. And that's just the next step on there. So like I said before, if you want to come back and see us get this thing on the road eventually, get it registered and take it out to some car meets and stuff, then please subscribe so you can keep coming back and seeing the progress, and eventually see us take this thing out and enjoy it on the road and at some events. And again, there's that, the Yamaha R7. We'll work on that at some point in the future as well. And then you can see that little yellow scooter back there in the back. That is something we got for free, and my son just fixed it all up. Real easy, carb and some fuel lines and some new ignition switch and stuff like that. So we're just working on all kinds of stuff around here. But today we're gonna get this thing, cooling system flushed out, cleaned out, and get some good new fluid in there. So we've got at least a known on that one. So here we go. Okay, step one, when you get down here, is this is on the passenger side of the car. Here's the front tire. So right here, you got this blue plug on the radiator. That's what you're gonna undo. So you undo that one with a screwdriver, and then it'll start draining out. Then I'll go up there and pop the cap up under the hood so it'll let more air in and it'll drain better. But at first I'll leave that shut, so hopefully I won't get as much of it on me. But that's step one. So I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and pop that thing out and see what comes out. Okay, got this thing draining. As you can probably tell from the color, fix this light. I'm afraid that's looking a little green instead of yellow. I don't know. It's supposed to be yellow. Green is bad for these. So anyway, that's what that looks like coming out of there. So we're going to come up here and we're going to go ahead and pop this this cap, and then that'll start letting some air in the system and hopefully make it drain a little better. But hard to do one-handed. I'll get that off with the other hand after I put the camera off. But anyway, that's where that is. Take that out and get it drained. And then we'll move on to the bolts on the engine that we have to undo to drain it. Okay, so I got the lid off. That is looking greener and greener as I see it, but I guess, yeah, I'm thinking it's green. Yep, it's definitely green. So, I guess more bad news. Based on what I'm seeing, green antifreeze in this car is bad. What's frustrating is that the shop that did the timing belt and all that kind of stuff back in 2017 did the water pump, and they're probably the ones that put this in. So I don't know, but it's disappointing that you've got a shop putting that in. Everything I read says that's the worst thing. Yellow is best, pink I guess is acceptable, green no bueno. But nothing I can do about it, so that's why we'll do the flush and then put yellow in it and cross all of our fingers and toes and hope that this thing is still drivable. Okay, that's pretty much drained out. So I'm going to head back here and find the drain bolt for this side of the block, which is back here. Unfortunately, I have stuck my arm right in the way of the light, so I try to work all that out for you real quick. But you can see right up there in the middle of the screen, right up there. Light's not working. But anyway, the one in the middle, not the one pointing straight down, the one pointing out to the side. That's the one that we got to undo. So it is kind of tight under here. I'm sorry for the bad camera work and the not being able to really point to it, but that's it. So we got to undo that bolt, and then we should be able to drain the coolant out of the block. So I'm going to work on doing that. And unfortunately, I cannot do that with the camera and everything else at the same time. And then once we're done with that one, we'll go to the other side. So I took the drain bolt out there for the motor. And as you can see, that's more of, wow, that just turns into a kind of a disaster. So have a big bucket, and it kind of goes everywhere. Jeez. All right. I'm gonna give you an update here. So I showed you that engine block draining on the driver's side. I just got the passenger side done too. On the passenger side, I had to use this setup because that's all the extensions I have. But I had to get the 1/2-inch ratchet because those things were hard to bust loose. So I was finally able to do them, but I could not do it with this 13mm wrench. Just couldn't get enough on it. But basically, both those bolts are 13mm. I had to use a 1/2-inch ratchet on both sides. No extensions on the driver's side, extensions on the passenger side due to the exhaust. So I had to kind of go around it. The other thing you'll see sitting here is this blue piece. That is that blue drain bolt that comes out of the bottom of the radiator. And then this is the washer that goes there as well. Unfortunately, I was just hand tightening it with the screwdriver, and that little beggar just popped right off. So, yeah, trying to deal with that emotionally, I guess, but obviously I'm gonna have to get another one of those. Hopefully I can get the remnant out and not have to get a whole nother radiator, because that would be bad. But for now, that's in. I don't know if it's going to hold or not as far as liquid, but I've got both sides of the engine drained out, that one there. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag that bucket out of the way, put the flush in, and then fill it up with water like it says, and run it through a heat cycle. I do have the heat on in the car. That was straight out of the manual. Make sure you run the car with the heater on so that it circulates the heater core. So we're going to do that. Get it loaded back up with just water and that radiator flush. Run it a little bit and try to get this thing flushed out. And then also figure out what to do about that unfortunate situation. All right, everybody, we're back at it today. So I had to take a break last time. We did run the car with the flush in it and stuff, but as you might recall, I said that this popped off when I was trying to tighten it just with a screwdriver. So I kind of stopped there. I had to order a new one of those, like $3 or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and work on trying to get the old one out. If you can see right there, that size plus sign right there in the middle of it, that I think is also in the like remaining kind of stud part of it that's in the radiator. So I got a smaller screwdriver that fits that size hole. We're gonna crawl down here and see if we can get that thing busted loose and drain out all the flush. Got my bucket, everything ready to go. So we're gonna work on trying to do that. So wish me luck on getting that out. Okay, so here's that little stud piece that was left in there, and as you can see, I got a smaller size screwdriver that does fit right in there, and then you can I was able to just twist that back out. So maybe my plug was super old and brittle, and that was the problem. I don't know, but anyway, it's like they engineered that thing almost to pop off of there and leave you a little bit to grab a hold of. So really no big deal. It just cost me $4 for a new plug, and then we're back in business. So we're gonna go ahead and drain this, go get the 2 bolts out of the engine, like I showed you before, drain that out, and then we'll fill it back up with fluid and run it just a little bit. All right, everybody, just a quick one. So this is what came out. Like I said, we had the green antifreeze in there before, which was not good. Ran that flush through it, ran it through a good solid heat cycle, heater on, blowing hot air, all that kind of stuff for probably about 15-20 minutes, and got a good run there as far as that goes. And as you can see, this still has a little bit of green to it, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is get rid of this, and then I'm gonna fill it back up with just straight water, run it for a few minutes, let it circulate a little bit, and then drain this back out one more time just to try to get rid of the rest of the green stuff so we don't mix green and yellow. Well, guest appearance by one of our chickens. But anyway, that's the plan. One more flush on this thing to try to get the green remnants of the green antifreeze out of here. All right, so I got the other 2 engine bolts back in, but here's this. Got it from 928SRS. Honestly, first time I used them was to order some parts last week, and then I ordered this thing from them as well. Pretty quick turnaround. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but anyway, they had this as well as some other parts I needed, so that's why I got it from them. But that's it. That's the replacement. So I'm going to rip this out, put it in, and then reload this this girl with some more water, run it for just a few more minutes, and then drain all that one more time. As you can see, I got an empty bucket again. So here we go for round 2 of the kind of flush out. Okay, here we are after the second flush. Drained radiator, both engine bolts again, and so you can see this is my tub's a little dirty, and you can see straight through it down into the dirt on the garage floor. But what that means is I think we've got as much of the green antifreeze out of there as we need, and now we're just going to put the green bolts back in, get rid of this stuff, and then fill it up with the yellow antifreeze that we got over here, and then we'll be able to move on to the next task. Okay, we got this topped off here. Might be a little high, but hopefully that'll go down as this runs. We got it running with the heater turned on and stuff. We'll let it run here for a few minutes, but basically we got this pretty well wrapped up. We put 3 jugs and about 3.5 jugs, a little bit more still sitting down here, but we'll let that run a little bit. To be honest, we're going to get into suspension work and steering and all that, so when we finally do get it off the jack stands and run it around the block some, we'll make sure we check the fluid level before we start really driving down the street. So we're going to go ahead and call this one done. Swapped out the old green antifreeze that was in here for the yellow antifreeze, and we didn't have any heating, any cooling problems or leaks or anything before, so hopefully this will last us for a while and we won't have to do anything for the cooling system. But here she sits, idling pretty good. So come back and see what we do next.